me see. Cool. We're live. Boom. Lights, camera,
Awesome.
action. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Facebook Live and podcast success secrets. There's been a lot of engagement in the group lately. I appreciate that, guys. I always try to bring on the best people, like I say, and everyone in their domain of expertise. And today we're with a pretty cool guy, Nico Moreno. I've heard your name a lot around the space, like you work with a lot of cool people. But for people who don't know who you are, he's a messenger bot expert. He also helps experts scale and monetize their knowledge using online courses and group coaching. So we'll cover all of that. But Nico, and you're also, if you guys are on live here, give me a hashtag live. That helps out.
Hashtag
Let me
live.
let me send out this this chat bot real quick. Actually, this is actually kind of
Okay.
relevant.
So meta. Yeah.
Um, cool guys. Yeah, Nico. For people who don't know who you are, can you kind of explain what you do and why you're awesome?
Totally. Yeah. Hey guys, my name is Nico Moreno and I live in Dallas, Texas. And essentially what I do right now is helping people with a high ticket offer scale it up online with massive ROI. And kind of the topic of what we're going to be talking about today is really the secret to the massive ROI. So
Cool.
definitely stick around and listen.
Yes. What do you consider high ticket?
I mean, everyone, I guess, has their own definition. I would say like $1,000 plus
Okay.
of
I'm
for an
actually
offer.
curious because I mean I'm gonna ask you some more questions here, but since we're already on it,
Totally.
like when does high ticket like when do you take it off digital and try to get them on a phone or something? Like what is there? Do you find it's a price point or something or?
In my experience, from what I've learned from others and from what I've also done myself, I would say $2,000 is kind of like the breaking point of where you want to switch from like phone call to, you know, webinar or yeah, from like selling it completely digitally to like taking it to a phone call. So the max that I've sold programs through webinar is like $2,000, and then from there it's kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess
that's what
like
I hear. I hear
try.
like 2K, 2,500. Usually that you need
Mhm.
a they have more objections or different objections,
Yeah.
etc.
So I think you could kind of test that out. I've heard of someone selling a $5,000 program on a webinar, so I know it's possible.
Yeah, I think there's other factors as well, like who
I'm
you
sure there's
are
a
and
yeah.
like
I think he was pretty well known in the
yeah, if you're
marketing
Tony
world.
Robbins, then like you don't need to hop on the phone with anybody.
Yeah,
Uh,
like
what's up,
30K.
Kev?
Here you go.
Kev is on here. What's up, man? Appreciate it. If you guys are on, give me hashtag live. If you have any questions about bots, courses, coaching, drop it below for Nico while you have his time here. Because you'll probably never get him on a call unless you're buying his stuff. Um, so, dude, I'm actually curious. What is the current state of like messenger bots? Like, how could you explain like what are the rules to follow? Like, what's changed? What would you recommend to people here?
Yeah,
Specifically, like these are mainly content marketers, etc. So,
the current state, I would say like now is the absolute, if you haven't gotten on board, like now is the best time in history. I mean, the best time in history was like a couple days ago, like
yeah,
it's always that saying like the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, but
yeah,
seriously, it is so like it's so incredibly hot for really any type of offer and any type of business model. So you can do, we were kind of discussing this before, but you can do like broadcast messaging. You can also actually chat with people one on one through it, and it kind of looks like it's from a bot. So like you can do that or hire someone on your team. Really, the current state is like the opportunity has never been better. Like go
yeah.
for it.
What do you? So what's changed? Like with like
Yeah.
now all these rules, it's confusing, man. Like the 24-hour rule. I don't even know. Like, what are the
Mm-hmm.
main things people should consider if they're, let's say they have a list, right? They said they
Mm-hmm.
have a couple hundred people. Like, how do they like talk to them on the list, like, and still follow guidelines, etc.
Totally. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So 24-hour rule, and like that's kind of like the one thing that trips people up. And recently over the summer, Facebook introduced this new sort of regulation where now you have to get your Facebook page approved for subscription messaging if you want to send out free broadcasts. So essentially, like they would charge you sort of like an ad to just a message your list unless you're approved for this special thing. So those are kind of the two
What are the
newish
rule?
within
Do you
the
know what
past
the rules are to
year.
be approved? Because I think I was approved
Mhm.
recently, um, but I don't know
Yeah,
why.
Yeah. So typically you will have actually like gone in and applied. Do you know if
Yeah,
you
I
did that?
applied on the
Okay,
Facebook
you applied.
page, but I don't know what I said that helped. I don't know if I said like, I forget what the questions were, to be honest. So yeah.
Yeah. No, so I have a whole video like walking through exactly like what to say. Um, so I don't know if we can like if people want to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actually
Wherever
watch
that
the.
video is, just give me the link and we can drop it here
Yeah, we can
below.
do that at the end or
Or
now
whatever. Yeah,
or
is it YouTube or Facebook?
yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll drop
So I
it here,
can
guys. Well, also, if you're listening on a podcast, we'll have the video there too.
cool.
But yeah, what it? Okay, so
Yeah, so I can sum it up quickly if you want.
yeah,
Essentially, Facebook just wants to make sure that you're going to be using subscription broadcasting in the right ways and not in the wrong ways. And so the wrong ways, again, Facebook is all about creating the best experience for people on Facebook, right? So they don't want you to be spamming out like offer links and stuff like that all day, every day. What they are okay with is if you are some sort of a content creator or you're just providing like news or updates or things that people expect and signed up for. So that's pretty much the gist of it. And there's definitely a way to get around both that and the 24-hour plus one rule, which those are really they're kind of like the two things that I guess trip people up and like make them afraid to send out messages without getting disabled. And yeah, there's one key strategy that really you can use to get around both, and that's kind of like what I help people do.
Can you share it, or
Yeah.
is that too? Okay.
No, no, it's not. It's really like.
What's up, Tom? By the way, Tom Ray. Dude, I forgot how to say your last name, dude. Sorry. What's up, Tom?
Yeah. So I mean, overall, you kind of want to think about it as if you're like actually talking to a human. Like I don't want to sound like, but like you don't want to be like, hey, like here's like this link, like click to like order now. Like you don't want to say that. You're also just gonna piss off the people who are like humans on the other end, right? You want to just ask an open-ended question. So this is the way that I teach in like my programs, and basically like what I tell people to do to get around both of those things is you can just ask any sort of like open-ended question and have like buttons that say like yes or no.
So they have to engage before you send. Okay.
I mean, they don't have like if you wanted to, and this is like not what Facebook wants. If you wanted to, you could still do it. You could say like, hey, like I've got this awesome like course, like go like here's a link, like buy it now, and then you could put a button there, and like you could do it, but you can get in trouble. Yeah, okay. Totally.
Gotcha. So like, how do you follow the rules? Let's say you had 10,000 people, right? You send out an engagement post. If anyone engages, you can, even if they say no, if they're not interested, you could still send out whatever.
Yeah, theoretically.
Okay.
Yeah, you could just.
Is there a way to like when you send out that second follow-up post, let's say it is like a hard call to action, to not send it out to the people who didn't engage in the last post?
They're totally.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
it's getting a little technical now, but yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like a lot of people they also have this fear that like messenger bots, specifically with ManyChat, are like technical, and they're really not. It's super like it's very like drag and drop and user friendly, and there is a cool, easy way that anyone can learn to only send replies to people who click yes or no, and if they don't, then you're not going to break any rules. You're not going to send them any follow-up.
Gotcha. What is like, so for people who want like the 80-20 out of like, let's say they have the chatbot, they get people on their list. What is the 80-20 that they could be doing to like, nurture the list or like, get an ROI out of it, etc.? Like you recommend sequences or like certain types of broadcast or?
Yeah. So it depends. Gosh, I want to give you like the best possible answer, but it depends on like your business model.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, if your goal is to get people on the phone to sell like a high ticket offer, then what you want to be doing is like you want to, the 80-20 is going to be kind of like playing the long game while also like setting up some sequences while also like getting in there in the chat like kind of right away when they subscribe.
Gotcha.
If you're just like a content marketer or something like that, or you know are typically doing blog posts or YouTube videos or whatever, then yeah, you could rely heavily on the broadcasting feature, and then there's a way to like put your most important links down at the bottom that always show to anyone who ever interacts with your bot, and so you could put like whatever link to your website or contact you there.
Cool.
So it does depend a lot on what your goal is, but yeah, there's lots of cool things you can do.
Gotcha. So I'm curious for someone who's listening, because a lot of people listen, they're usually podcasters. They're starting one or they've been in the game for a while. What have you seen, whether if you've worked with someone or you've seen podcasters, like how do they, what are the best ways to utilize messenger bots for your podcast?
Yeah, for podcasting, I would say what I've seen is, I guess it depends like how frequently you upload an episode. But what I've seen is literally just people kind of using it as a tool to get a lot of downloads or listens right away, like when you set it live. So like you got the link for your new episode, and you just say like, "Hey guys, like here's a new episode. Here's what it's about. Click here."
And that doesn't break the rules if it's a straight like content pitch, not like a.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. So Facebook doesn't want you sending people to like sales pages and stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if you're providing the terminology that they use is like news and updates. So if you're providing news and updates, and like it's something that people subscribe to, and like they know that that's what they're getting, then it's fine.
Cool. What if I've seen some people, like some influencers, they create like VIP list. I think Gary Vee has one too, right?
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't follow him.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that concept?
Yeah. I like, so for example, oh, do you mean like for paying customers only or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a concept that we've used for one of our programs. And yeah, so you can, for example, if there's like a coaching call or something, and you only want paid members to get access to that or have that link
Tag them.
update. Yeah, there's two ways. You can tag them appropriately inside of ManyChat, or you can also like get them to opt in to ManyChat like through a specific link, and only send messages to people who have opted in through that link.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, we're using.
So it's kind of like email in that regard, where you can, once you get a little bit familiar with the layout and the way things look, you can pretty easily segment people.
Yeah, Kiona, this will stay after. Can't listen while at work. That's why work sucks. What does the future look like for ManyChat? Because I know they're trying to get into like, I've heard some things like they're trying to get into email and SMS, and like obviously they want to. There's that whole sponsored thing as well. So what do you see are the big changes coming?
Do you mean Messenger or ManyChat?
Messenger, yeah. When I think I don't know, or what's the closest competitor to ManyChat?
No, they really are.
It was Chat Fuel or something, right? Or
yeah. I mean, in my head, they're kind of synonymous because that's the only thing I use and that's the only thing I recommend. I don't know about Chat Fuel, honestly. Like, I feel
it's like search engine. Like who? It's like if you don't use Google, you're weird.
Yeah, like it's kind of fallen off the radar, the other ones. So I don't know about the other ones. I would say ManyChat. For sure, that's all I use and all I recommend.
Do you know what's coming in the future?
Yeah, as far as what's coming in the future, as far as like features, I guess I would say like I don't really know. That's kind of like Facebook is.
Do you go to the conference that they have, the ManyChat one, or I think it's in Texas, right?
Yeah, it's in Texas. I did not go to the most recent one.
Okay.
I'm just not a conference person. It's not nothing against anyone.
I assumed you were there because you were there in Texas. Okay.
A lot of people asked me or like messaged me and they're like, "Are you coming?" I'm like, "Yeah, just."
You probably could have spoke there if you wanted to, man. You could go on a panel or something.
Yeah. Sorry, where were we going? Oh, okay. So Facebook is definitely pushing, or they're prioritizing Messenger and just like real conversations with real people, like just as a platform overall. And Yeah, so it's definitely like it's a thing. It's here to stay, like for sure, and there will be like a lot more big pushes in the future.
Gotcha. So when you promote lead magnets,
Hmm.
do you, because we've experimented, we've split tests. I still don't know. I don't have enough data, but like, do you think it's best to send someone to a chatbot and then an email opt-in, or or actually you can just get their email there on chatbot, or
Yeah,
send them to an email and then deliver the freebie through a chatbot in the email? Like, what's your preferred method?
it's a great question. So first of all, it depends on the platform. So if you're running YouTube ads, this is something that I learned the hard way. Like people on YouTube, like if you're running an in-stream video ad, they just will not respond well to like opting into a chatbot from
On
YouTube. So I just
Messenger and mobile, or I mean, like on mobile
um,
and desktop, or
gosh, that's a good question about the platforms on YouTube. I don't know, but if you're running YouTube ads, definitely just run them to an email opt-in. We got almost no results at all for ManyChat opt-ins from YouTube. Whereas with Facebook, yeah. So the lead magnet strategy that I would use is I would send them to the messenger bot first, and then you can either deliver it there and say like, hey, do you also want it in email, or you can just say like, cool, like thanks for opting in, like here's where you go to get your free lead magnet, and then you can send them to a landing page to grab their email if you want to do it that way too. Like either way works,
yeah. What
but you
I've
can
been
kind
doing
of
is
get two
like,
for one.
yeah, like in the email, if they opt in
Hmm.
the group, I have it so if they want the freebie, it delivers through the chatbot.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, I don't know, some people have like, I guess, computers from the 90s and they're like, it's
Hmm.
not working. Uh,
Like whenever people say that, I'm like, no, it is working.
yeah, it's just
Like you're
it's
just
really
not using the
hard
right
to help
browser.
a 50-plus-year-old navigate the internet. I've learned
Hmm.
because I'm like, all right, use your cursor, and then, um, but
I'm just like can't help you.
yeah,
Sorry.
but then we put under the button like in small font, like download the PDF directly, but then people don't even see that.
Mhm.
So,
I
someone says,
hear
"What's
ya.
up, Nico Moreno? Austin
What's going
Ford,
on?
Austin
Oh,
Ford."
Austin, what's going on? Sorry, on the
Yeah,
thing, I can't see the person's name. Well, Austin,
yeah, I
what's
know
going on?
this app. It doesn't. They have to like register. So yeah,
Dude,
cool.
Austin is an amazing human being. He was one of the first people to join my Messenger Bots course, and we still keep in touch, and he's doing awesome.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've talked awesome. We've been chatting since 2018, right, dude? Like when I first joined opened my this group, he was one of the first 100 people, and like you put a live video and everything. But dude, you've blown up since then, dude. All the challenges. Um, Moreno, are you Spanish?
I am Hispanic and Italian. Yes.
Okay, cool. Because I know that means brown or black in Spanish.
Yeah, I think it means
Moreno
like brown.
means brown.
So
Nico Brown. Boom.
yeah.
Cool. So I'm curious. Messenger bots for paid traffic.
Mhm.
Um, what have you seen? Like, does that work better than email? Do you think sending people to a bot and getting them on a list?
I wouldn't say it necessarily works better.
How
Um,
often do you use it? Like messenger bots, like as like the call to action and like paid traffic.
how often do I use? Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah, like
Like
how often
either or
would
both?
like is that like one of the best things to do right now on Facebook? You think with paid traffic, send them to a bot rather than like a landing page, or
So there's a stipulation. So I would say overall yes, but you also need to realize that some people don't have Facebook, which is like weird. So it depends where
you
you're
mean
running traffic.
messenger or
No, like I mean, some people like they don't have a Facebook account.
well, I mean like if so, let's say these are
But
Facebook
do you mean you're
ads.
running Facebook? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So for that, second thing is you need to consider like who your audience is. So if they're old people, like I love you, but if they're old, like they're probably just it's like they're gonna be really confused and they're just gonna like it probably isn't gonna like work out well. They may not respond to it. They may just report it as spam. Like so, you really just have to consider who your audience is. If they're our generation, they're millennials, I would say like test both, but chatbots like you don't want to not try Messenger
yeah.
for like the younger generation. You definitely want to try it and see how it works for you. It probably will work very, very well.
Gotcha. Austin says, "Thanks, guys. Nico's bot course was amazing.
Was
It's
that
still up,
Austin?
right? Your course? That was Austin, yeah.
Austin, yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I'll get
Or
back to
actually, how do
you.
you know it was
More.
Austin? It's just Facebook user. It
I
says.
know. To me, it says Facebook user, but
Yeah, this is anonymous.
yeah.
So yeah, what was my follow-up question there? Oh, I'm curious. Like sponsored ads in Messenger. Have you played around with that before?
You mean like inside the Messenger inbox, right?
Yeah.
I've never run those. I see them, and I've never clicked on one, so I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
tested it though. To me, it's annoying and intrusive.
True. Very true.
That's just my experience as a user. I've never interacted with one
Yeah.
ever.
I imagine like it might be good for like e-commerce if you're like a girl and like there's like a makeup thing or something, but I don't
Yeah,
know about
I see. I mean, I see like a lot of, um, yeah. I don't know. I definitely have seen like apps or like ads for apps in there, and like maybe that's a thing. But I
yeah.
personally have not done it.
So let's say that there's someone listening, right?
Hmm.
They don't have a messenger bot. They've never created a ManyChat account, and they want to create their first like nurturing sequence to deliver a lead magnet or some
Okay.
sort of freebie. Like, actually, what's the best thing to get people on a bot? First step. What would you tell them works best? Let's just say it's a podcaster listening.
For a podcast,
Like, what's
yeah,
the best call to action to get someone to the bot?
I would say, I mean, any whatever sort of like lead magnet or like really cool
So like,
thing.
gotcha. Like any resource freebie.
Yeah, although if it, like you got to think too. If it's a podcast, people usually will like sign up to the podcast just to be able to listen to the podcast. So it
Yeah,
may
like
work.
show note
My
links don't
experience.
really people don't click them a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, so that may work for like a podcast where people are already like they know that they're just going to be subscribing to the podcast purely to listen to it. So you may not have to coax them, but for anything really like a lead magnet works great too.
okay. I mean, because you could always have a website, right, and then have it embedded in the website
Hmm.
too if they go to the website.
Yeah, so there's
Um,
tons of options of how you can use these like on a website or all over the internet. You can do like some pretty cool like pre-made, I guess what would you call them? Like pre-made kind of landing page type things that are
yes.
inside of ManyChat. You can also generate like a link that when people click it from anywhere on the internet, like it'll start the conversation. That's what I always use. But
Yeah. Um, this is a. I'm gonna let you guess who this is. No,
you
this is
won't what?
Austin. This is
Oh, it's
Austin. So we just covered this, Austin. The future of messenger bots,
all.
and what its big brother Facebook is moving to. Um, so yeah, I don't know if you want to touch that again, Nico. Recap
I
it.
would just say Messenger is the way now
Messenger is the way
and the future. Yes.
and the future. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Um, so what is like you've seen is like a good like nurturing sequence? Like is it I've seen people do 5 day challenges. I've seen people do like 30 day, and that gets annoying quickly. What's a good balance of like a good nurturing sequence?
Yeah. So what I typically do, like kind of the pattern that I implement for myself and for others as well, like clients, um, I kind of follow like a 5 days in a row, like 5 or 6, depending on like kind of what content they have available. So like first 6 days is like people expect to get followed up with, and then it's like that's okay. You could do like content. It depends also what you're trying to get them on, like a webinar or a phone call or whatever. But you could do like content storytelling, like brief storytelling, um, whatever. And then after the 6 days, I usually do like 2 more follow-ups within like 14 days total. So it'll typically look like, like 5 days in a row, then maybe on day 10 and day 14.
Gotcha. I'm
So
just
that's just
taking
the
notes.
pattern that has always worked, or not always, but like once I implemented that pattern for like one of my clients, like his results like totally blew up, and I was like, okay, well, let's just like stick with that.
Gotcha.
Because some
And
people, when they opt in for a thing, they're kind of like some people just need time to warm up, and like 2 weeks is like if they haven't done it by then, like that may be enough time for them to be like, okay, you know what, I've had some time to warm up to it, and like now I'll take action. But if it's longer than that, then like they're probably going to need to like re-engage with an ad or content or something.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm curious how, like as a CRM,
Mm-hmm.
how do you kind of like keep track of the conversation? Is like all this happening in ManyChat for you?
Yeah, so there's two ways to do it. You can link it up. Well, I mean, you have to link it up to your Facebook business page in order to be able to like run ads and stuff. And really to use ManyChat at all. So there's two ways where you can kind of see the conversations happening. One is within ManyChat. So there's an area called live chat. And then the other is just in your Facebook business page, like the messages tab. So you on the back end or someone on your team who you've given the access to can also see all of those conversations. And I just use the one from Facebook business page just because it's easier, it's cleaner.
In Facebook, you just
Yeah. So once you link
right
up,
now, it says like it's kind of confusing. Like there's a done tab.
Yeah. So how it kind of works is you can mark a conversation as done if you're like, okay, we're done. It's sort of like, because in the past it had mostly been like kind of customers who were inquiring about certain things. Maybe they had a question or maybe they needed support or help. So you can it's kind of like ticketing. It's like a ticketing system in that regard. So you can say like, okay, we're done with this conversation.
Gotcha. And what do you think is best practice for people like for activity for bots? Like once a week or like?
Do you mean like broadcasting or?
Yeah. Like actually, I guess I'll kind of pivot the question. What are the best kind of broadcasts to kind of do if you're kind of like running dry, like outside of your normal, like, releasing a podcast or releasing this content, etc.
Yeah, I would say like there's two really great ones that can always pick things back up for you. So one, I would do like a testimonial. Okay. So just say like, if you have like a screenshot or a video or something from one of your past clients.
And then do you have them engage on that or?
Yeah, you can just link them to like, you can say like, so basically here's what I do. So like I'll send like a screenshot and I'll say like, hey, first name, like take a look at like Kyle, he got these incredible life-changing results. Like click here to like hear more if it's a video or something. And then you can it'll just say like, like testimonial or something, or like see results on the button copy, and that counts as engaging. And you can link them over to like wherever that full testimonial is, like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Cool. So that's like strategy one. Yeah, it's just straight testimonial. That will get a lot of people off the edge who've just been like sitting there for a while, or at least get them to like take the next step with you, right? So there's that. And the second thing is just open-ended question. Again, it can be really simple. It can be something like, hey John, are you interested in like launching an online course? Like yes or no.
So is that more for like data? Or
yeah, so you can it's for a lot of things. Yeah, you can get like great data. So you can set people who click yes, you can tag them as like course creator or something, or like wants to create a course. So then you can like send them further messages later on. Or you could like, for example, you could also like personally reach out to them through ManyChat and say like, hey John, like I'm on here right now and like I saw you want to create a course, like what's your course topic? Gosh. And you could literally just be like having a one-on-one conversation with them and like book a call with them or whatever it is, right?
Nice. Sounds like money.
Yeah. So I would go with those two.
Yeah. There's like, I'm sorry these questions are stupid. I don't use
They're not
enough.
At all.
I mean, I have like 500 on my list. I don't use it enough, but I want to understand it more. So like the data aspect, let's say you run something like that and open a question. How do you kind of, I guess you just see who click yes, who's click no, and that's the data. Like they don't give you like a list or like.
No, they do. So there's a couple. Okay. They give you a lot of good data. So what you would do is let's say you sent that as a broadcast, so like a one-time like real-time message. You can actually go in to like the broadcast history and ManyChat will show you like percentage of people who like or number of people and percentage who opened it, read it, clicked anything, and they'll also tell you who clicked which button. And you can like literally pull up their like profile information of
Oh,
who
I
clicked
see
each
it.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And you
Dang.
can tag them too after the fact too. Like let's say you forget to tag them.
What's a good like read percentage and click percentage?
Red, I mean, anything above 90% is good and actually very typical.
Dang, I got 85%, dude. I'm slacking.
And then yeah, click percent, like it depends what it's for.
True.
If it's something where it's like a quick, like why would they not want this type of thing, then like probably like 40-60% is like great. If it's a testimonial and it's like book a call, then like, you know, it's going to be a little bit lower. But
Cool. So yeah, I mean you answered a lot of questions, dude. I hope you guys are listening, got some value so far. If you're listening on the podcast, go follow Nico on what's your Instagram handle?
At Nico Moreno Official.
Official. Okay, not the other Nico Moreno.
Not the other ones. They're very unofficial.
Yeah. So yeah, thank him for this. But I have a few more questions.
Totally.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on with you right now with like online courses and coaching. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So right now, well, we've got an online course specifically on messenger marketing and monetizing chatbots. So that's been going for about a year and a half. So you guys can check out the webinar at messengerbotsforentrepreneurs.com. If you want to just like straight up, there's like webinar and everything. If you want to just straight up go for it, like, you know, you're in, just go to messengerbotsforentrepreneurs.com/go.
Boom.
You can check out, there's tons of like, literally like the testimonials are crazy. Like just check them out. Like, yeah, it's such a great program. Like literally, and Austin was on here earlier. He was like one of the first people who joined it. And yeah, really, really great program. So that's kind of the main, I guess, sort of like anyone can kind of like get into that and like, you know,
learn messenger bots, etc. and how to use them. Okay.
Suitable for complete beginners or experts in marketing who just haven't, you know, used ManyChat yet. So that's kind of like the first thing. The second thing is we have like a higher tier program for people who have a high ticket offer and want to scale it up online. And so that relies a lot on like ManyChat as well. But there's, you know, we also help with like webinars and like automated like video funnels like that too.
VSLs and
yeah, VSLs, webinars, different stuff like that. And so that there's kind of a strategy that I have personally, I guess, relied on. So before all of that, I was doing, how I got into this is like I literally would just do like agency style, like service sort of work. That's how I was able to create the course and then this higher tier program. But yeah, so I've done it in like a bunch of different industries and like we've kind of just noticed certain similarities, things that work, and that's what that higher tier program is about. It's more for advanced business owners who have an existing high ticket offer.
Gotcha. Quick question. I don't want to dive
totally
too deep into it because if people are interested, they should go learn more and buy your stuff. Webinars.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing works best right now? Like the long form webinars, or I guess it depends always. Like what's your business and such, but.
Yeah, so I hate the answer like it depends, but
yeah.
So the truth is yeah, it is the right answer. The reality is they both work for sure. Like if you sign up for the Messenger Bots webinar, it's like a standard, like, you know, about 45 minutes of training. And then like after that, it's kind of like, you know, offer and like Q&A for a total of about like 90 minutes. So those, I mean, people still watch it and sign up. Like those still work. Absolutely. If you're doing high ticket, like where there's a phone call involved, I would say it's not necessary. At least if you're kind of towards the beginning, it still will work to do a 90-minute webinar, then get them on a phone call for sure. But a lot of times webinars like hold people back. Like I know for me, it took me about a year and a half to 2 years of consistently doing webinars and failing every single one before I ever made $1 with webinars ever.
Wow.
So it's like, if that's the thing that's going to hold you back, then like don't do it right now. You can get away with like a shorter VSL type video and then just
So
get them on
you're,
the phone.
do you think webinars more if you have a proven product and solution, or like you wouldn't start there for most people, or
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I don't want to be the person to um,
it
discourage
depends?
someone from webinars. I would say it's more like you as a person. So I would say like if you're the
Gotcha.
type of person who's like really just like excited to do webinars and you see the potential upside, which is really big, um, and like you're serious and like you want to go for it, and you know that you're not going to get discouraged even if it doesn't work the first
Because
time.
it is a lot of work. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
it's a lot of work. Then I would say go for it. If you are someone who is like kind of like hesitant and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, and then like it doesn't work the first time, and then you know that like you might give up or something, then I would say just like don't do it at
Yeah.
all, because it's
So
probably not going to work the first time.
I'm curious, right? So if we look at the
Yeah.
chronological evolution of when you started doing the webinar to when you
Hmm.
made your first dollar, that year and a half time period, like what were the major things that happened that led to that dollar happening? Like, was it you changing your script? Is it what how you did the webinar? The land? Like, what was the major things?
Yeah, I mean, literally the one major thing was like I joined like a mastermind specifically on it, and or I don't know if you would say specifically on it, but like I joined. I mean, probably a lot of people here know Alex Becker. I joined his mastermind, and he was like, "Here, use these slides. Like they've made me like millions of dollars." And I was like, "Okay." And then I did it with like my, chatbot course and stuff, and like, boom, it worked. So I would
So
say it
it
was
was
kind of
just
like,
changing the the slides
yeah,
pretty much.
pretty much, and like the script. Like I don't want to, I guess like badmouth any other type of script, but there are some well-known like scripts out there that
Are they perfect?
far from it, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so they're not conducive to like beginners succeeding. Whereas if you have like, I guess like a real actual script, and some people also call things a script and it's not a script, just saying. If you actually have like slides that are straight up slides with like the words down below, then like you can pretty much just plug in your stuff and like it'll work. So I would say that was kind of the big thing. Like it was literally just like having the right slide deck and script, and also like belief in myself too. Like people can kind of tell like if you like from your tone of voice and stuff if you're like really really nervous or if you're like, okay, like I got this.
Yeah. That's
But
a
I
big
would say
thing
like,
too that I've learned in sales. Like you
yeah,
could say the same thing, two different people say it, and it comes off completely like, whether it's how we process it, really. You know.
totally. So funny story. I don't want to like go too much over. I'll keep it very short. But funny story. First thing that I ever did online was I was a copywriter,
Okay.
and the reason that I got into that was because I I'd been studying like hypnosis, and then I got
Self
into
hypnosis or like other people.
both.
Okay.
Yeah, and so literally the reason why I got fascinated with copywriting and I became a copywriter was because like the language patterns of like hypnosis and NLP, like they are exactly the same as like VSLs and copy that converts really well. Like
Which is
it's like frighteningly similar. I mean, it's literally just like hypnotic language patterns and like tonality.
it's just drawing them in. Like how can
Hmm.
you draw them in and like make them get more like interested and involved?
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Well, now people are gonna want to buy this script now, just so you know, including me. So
dude, like, I mean, I would love for you guys to have it because it makes a big difference.
how the hell do we have to pay Alex Becker a lot of money for that?
Oh no, I don't think he even. I don't know. I don't think he has his mastermind anymore. I'm not any anymore, but I don't think he has it.
Do you know
Um,
which
Maybe.
actually do you know which webinar that he kind of follows that?
You could just watch my chatbot webinar,
Boom. Okay. And then I'm gonna end up buying it too.
and then you'll
So
probably buy it. You'll probably buy it.
yeah. So if you want to learn how to do webinars, watch his chatbot webinar. There you
But
go.
like, if you actually like are in it like big time and like you want help, like that's one of the things that we help you with in the higher tier program. My higher
Gotcha.
tier program.
And that's legacy.
Yeah, that's Legacy Empire Builders. So you can go to legacyempirebuilders.com and check that out. And if it speaks to you, then book a phone call.
Boom. There we go. We have
Boom.
similar names. Our company's Legacy Podcasting. So
I know, I saw that. I was like, gosh, legacy is just such a good word.
yeah, man. Like the people we work with, it's just it's definitely yeah. Yeah. Cool, man. So I appreciate you doing this. And
Yeah, I appreciate you for reaching out. Seriously. Like I was so excited for this all week.
That's sweet. Well, I'll let you know when the podcast is out. If you guys got some value from this, if you're on Facebook, give me a hashtag value. Thank Nico. Go follow him. Go add him as a friend. If you want to get started, messenger bots for entrepreneurs.com. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To watch out or to watch it and check it out. If you want to just buy stuff, messengerbots for entrepreneurs.com/go. And yeah, thanks so much for listening to this episode, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Daxi.